There's a kind of pain that isn't always loud. It doesn't announce itself with tears or break the air with sobs. It's quieter than that. It's the hollow ache you feel when you realize you weren't picked again. When the invitation never came. When someone else's eyes passed over you, seeing right through the things you tried so hard to offer. It's the empty chair at the table you wished you belonged to. It's the message that never arrived. The friendship that stayed surface level while you gave your whole heart. The love that chose someone else. It's the feeling of being invisible in a world that seems to value everyone else more easily. And after a while, the hurt doesn't even shock you anymore. It just settles into your bones, a soft, constant weight you carry into every new room. You wonder if maybe you were just meant to be the one who never gets picked. You wonder if maybe it says something about you after all. But hear me now, and hear me fully, you didn't imagine it. You're not being too sensitive. Being overlooked leaves real scars. It chips away at something sacred inside of you, not because you are lacking, but because being unseen where you long to be loved is one of the deepest wounds a soul can carry. That ache you feel is not a weakness. It's not a flaw. It's the tender evidence that you showed up with your heart open, that you wanted connection, that you were willing to risk being seen. And even though they didn't choose you, that vulnerability still matters. It still says something beautiful about who you are. Their inability to choose you is not a mirror of your worth. It's a reflection of their inability to recognize something rare, something real. And that's a grief worth honoring, not dismissing, not minimizing, but honoring with the softness it deserves. When you are overlooked enough times, something dangerous starts to happen inside you. You stop believing it's about them, and you start believing it's about you. You tell yourself quiet, devastating stories. I'm not enough. I'm not wanted. There's something wrong with me. You carry those words like invisible ink written all over your skin, looking for proof of them everywhere you go. Every unanswered text, every half-hearted friendship, every love that never fully chose you, it all feels like confirmation of what you've feared all along. And the cruelest part is, no one ever had to say it outright. The absence of choosing was enough. Enough to make you question your own reflection. Enough to make you doubt the softness you offer, the light you carry, the love you are willing to give. Over time, these stories sink deep, not because they are true, but because no one stayed long enough to tell you otherwise. But the truth, the real truth, is that the way you were treated was never proof of your worth. Other people's inability to see you, to hold you, to choose you, says far more about their limitations than it ever said about your value. Your heart did not become less precious because someone failed to treasure it. Your spirit did not become smaller because someone failed to understand it. You are not unworthy because someone else was unable or unwilling to love you properly. You were always worthy. Always. Even on the days you felt invisible. Even when they made you doubt yourself. Even when you started to shrink your own brilliance just to fit into spaces that were never meant for your fullness. The truth is, you deserved better all along, and none of their choices ever had the power to take that away. They never told you the truth, not because it wasn't real, but because maybe they didn't even know it themselves. The truth is, when someone fails to choose you, it's not because you are lacking. It's not because you were too much, or not enough, or unworthy of being loved. It's often because they couldn't see you clearly. Because their own fears, their own blindness, their own broken lenses kept them from recognizing what stood right in front of them. Sometimes people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves, and if they've never allowed themselves to experience true vulnerability, true tenderness, they won't know how to receive yours. Their absence, their inability to choose you, reflects their limits, not your value. It's not a measurement of your worth. It's a mirror of their own capacity, or lack of it. You were never invisible. You were simply never seen by eyes that knew how to recognize someone like you. You are not the absence of someone's choice. You are not the gaps where others failed to show up. You are not the unanswered messages or the silences that followed your openness. You are the light that was too bright for those who were never ready. You are the tenderness that required a kind of bravery not everyone could offer. You are the depth that frightened people who only knew how to swim in shallow waters. You were never unworthy. You were never too complicated, too sensitive, too intense. You were simply waiting for someone who had the courage to meet you where you already stood, fully, bravely, openly. And even if they didn't, even if you're still waiting, you need to know, your worth was never something they had the power to grant or deny. It has always been yours. Whole. Untouched. Still shining, even after everything. You have spent so long waiting for someone to choose you, to see you, to stay, to make you feel like you were finally enough. And when they didn't, you thought it was your fault. You thought it was because you needed to be better, smaller, easier to love. But tonight, I want you to imagine something different. Imagine standing face to face with the version of you who was always waiting, the younger you, the tender you, the you who kept hoping someone would finally say, you are wanted exactly as you are. Look into their eyes. See the ache they've been carrying. Feel the weight of their loneliness. And then, without waiting for anyone else's permission, step forward and choose them yourself. Whisper to that version of you, I see you. I want you. I choose you. Let it be real. Let it be enough. Because choosing yourself is not selfish. It's healing. It's the beginning of everything you've been searching for. You don't have to keep auditioning for a place in someone else's heart. You don't have to keep trying to earn what should have always been freely given. Tonight, you can lay that burden down. You can reclaim your own heart. You can choose yourself, not out of anger, not out of bitterness, but out of love. Out of recognition. Out of the deep, unwavering truth that you were always worthy of being loved fully, including by you. Say it softly, I choose myself now. Again, I am worthy of being loved fully, including by me. Feel those words settle into your chest like a homecoming. Let them be the beginning of a new kind of belonging, one that doesn't depend on anyone else's ability to recognize your light. You are no longer waiting to be chosen. You have already been chosen by the one who matters most. You. And that is more powerful, more beautiful, more freeing than you could have ever imagined. You were never supposed to spend your life proving your worth to people who couldn't see you. You were never meant to believe that being loved depended on being perfect, or quiet, or easy to understand. Your worth was never meant to be measured by who stayed or who left, by who picked you or who overlooked you. Your worth is not a reaction, it's a fact. It was written into you from the moment you existed, untouched by rejection, unchanged by silence. You were already enough before anyone else ever had an opinion about you. You are already enough now, in this very breath, even with the scars, even with the doubts, even with the ache of all the times you weren't chosen. Their choices did not take anything from you. Your soul is still whole. Your heart is still good. Your light is still bright. You are not missing anything. You were never missing anything. So tonight, let that truth settle deeper than the old wounds. Let it fill the spaces where you once carried the lies. You don't have to chase after love. You don't have to become someone else to deserve belonging. You already are someone worthy of love, of rest, of tenderness, exactly as you are. You are not the absence of someone's choice. You are the presence of your own worth. You are the full, living proof that being chosen by others was never the measure of your beauty, your depth, your existence. Whisper it to yourself, even if your voice shakes, I was always enough. Say it again, louder inside your own heart, I am already enough. And let the stillness hold you as you finally let that truth sink all the way in. You have always been enough. You are enough now. And you will always be enough. Nothing and no one can take that away.